Hello everyone, welcome to another video tutorial of the series OmniStudio. In this tutorial, we will be going through the loop block and cover a example that very much aligned with our projects. So let's get started with it. And before even drag and dropping this loop block, we have to do a little setup for this again, since we are not capturing data from anywhere or we're not fetching any data from any source. So we have to set it through a set values. So before proceeding on this, there's a little explanation what I'm going to do in this tutorial. So for this, I already have created a list of account with account name and IDs. What I'll do is I will loop through all of these elements and try to get the details of each account. So for that, let's set values first. It will be sv underscore accounts and the name of this will be account list. And to configure a array, we have to go to edit in JSON and we can paste it here. It will automatically get rearranged. Now we have the list created. Let's drag the loop block. Now loop block expect a loop list which it will be going through. Let's name this first. And we have to give the correct path. So if we are getting it from some source, we can write the path of that. For now, it will be sv accounts and the next node is account list. It will be colon account list. So we can do anything in this and the data will be accessible. That is for each of the node, the data will be accessible in loop block for each iteration. So let's say we want to extract the data for each of these accounts. We have to use DataRaptor extract action. Name will be sv underscore get account details. Sorry, it will be dr. And we already have a DataRaptor which we were using in our previous sessions. This is get account details. Let's see what it expects so that we can provide it the necessary detail. So it looks for an account ID key which holds the account. We'll configure it this way only. So to pass the input, we need to click on add input parameter, and we already know the name it expect for the key is account ID. We can paste it in filter value, and in data source we have to give the correct path where it holds the account ID. So it will we will be getting it from sv account list, and there is another node that is this ID. This is what we need to pass. So we'll have to pass it like this: sv accounts, then the inner node is account list, and there are two key value pairs, so we need to utilize the ID key. Since we have passed the correct ID and we have given the correct filter value as well, so it should be working. But right now we haven't configured the response action, so let's configure that as well. We want everything that we are getting in loop block accounts. Let's configure it in response action. Let's say account details is fine, and we'll get everything that we have in LB accounts. We do not need to give anything in here because we have already set up the set values. So let's execute it. We do not need to provide any input in here. We can directly hit on execute and see if we are getting something. So right now we see that our loop block is actually working and it is iterating through each of the element. Since we had 4 elements, it is iterating through each, but we are not getting the actual response from the DataRaptor. Let's see if we miss something in here. So we have provided the correct IDs, that is correct. And okay, in additional loop output, so we have to configure this part as well. So what do we want is, after each iteration we want to pass the data that we are getting from this DataRaptor. We need to pass it to the loop block output in additional output. So it will be, let's say, account details, and we can refer the DataRaptor. Now if we go in here and see the output, we see there is a node called account. If we want the output along with this, then we are already done and we can preview it, and we see we are getting this node under account details, which is our the node that we configured as an output. So either we can change the output from LoopBlock. So let's go to LoopBlock and we can go one level deep by giving it as account. And now we have account details, and for each of the iteration it is giving us the output. We can change the name of this, maybe loop block account details, so we'll be able to distinguish that this is the outermost node and this account node is the inner node. If we don't even need this account detail node as well, and we only want the output that we are getting as a part of output of DataRaptor, we can configure that as well from here. So if we go to the additional output, we need to add account details and it will trim it down. So let's execute it, and now we are only getting the array of output from the DataRaptor. So this is how a loop block works. In addition to this, if we want more things in the output of a loop block, we can configure that as well. Let's say we give a static value to this, that is will be one. It can be anything, and we can add a key value pair here. So let's say some value that is 21. It can be random. We can configure this as the output or additional output in the loop block. So it will be sv underscore lb1. So what we're saying is, whatever we have as an output from svlb1 colon value, which is the inner node to this, this will be configured in here actually. So what we are saying is, whatever we have in here, pass this as a value of, as an additional value of this loop block, and let's say additional sv. It can be anything. This is just a key. And one thing we need to update is, in our response we were trimming down and giving output only the data that we were getting in account details. Now we want to give the whole thing. So we removed the additional block and let's execute it again. So in here you see, for each of the iteration, it has added the set values. The value can be dynamic. I just tried to demo you how additional nodes can be configured in output as well. And there can be more nodes, and they can be configured in additional loop output. And make sure you configure this correctly as well. If you want to trim down something, then you can add additional, like after colon, you can give the node name, or if you do not want to trim down, you can pass down the whole output from the loop block. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.